Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. Now, what I want to talk about today is something that could happen with the WRC in the future, and it's to do with the WRC promoter. They've, in the past year or so, taken over the commercial rights and, well, the rights to a couple of other championships the FIA has. World Rallycross, European Rallycross, and the European Rally Championship. Which means that all of these things get shared amongst themselves. All these things get rotated through. And there are a couple of cool things that come with this. So, for example, there was the plan to have the Spa round of World Rallycross go in with the IPA Rally, which was why the final day was going to happen at Spa originally, when we were going to have a 2020 IPA Rally. It ended up happening in 21. I think that the big reason why that final day had a bit more questions over it was because there wasn't something like World Rallycross there. But it was certainly enjoyable. And in addition to that, you can see more rotation between the world and European calendars, especially if we talk about Rallycross. There are a lot of tracks in different countries that can host World Rallycross events or European Rallycross events. Let's say the UK has, well, it's got Croft, for example. But in particular for the World Championship, it has been with both Lyddon and Silverstone, a World Rallycross Championship event. And you could easily do one year, one the other, and you could also alternate the venues as well if you wanted. Because Lyddon was seen as the spiritual home of Rallycross. But you could also do that with ERC and WRC, and let me talk you through a couple of different examples. So this season, in the ERC, they have 8 rounds. Poland, Liepāja, Roma, Zin, Azores, Faf, Hungary, and Isla Canaria. In the WRC, they have some rounds that were on the European calendar before, like you can hear some of the rounds that are on the European calendar were counted or were on the World Rally calendar before. You've got the Monte, the Arctic Rally, Croatia, Portugal, Sardinia, Kenya, Estonia, Belgium, Greece, Finland, Catalonia, Japan. In the cancelled ones, you've also got Sweden, Chile, and GB. Now, some of these ones a European Championship obviously wouldn't go to. But there are other regional rally championships, the APRC, for example, which is Asia Pacific. There is it Codesur for Latin America? There's also the African Rally Championship. So you could easily have these all rotate around. Sometimes they could collaborate. So for example, if you wanted to do a big rally somewhere like Monte Carlo, you could have the ERC double up there. Or you could have the African Championship double up with the WRC in Safari, or the Latin American Rally Championship double up with the WRC in Argentina. And the reason why I'm not saying that Rally America is because, well, they have different sets of regulations, and the American Rally Championship, is it ARA? I believe is sanctioned by SCCA, which is the American body. Or at least SCCA sanctions some of those kinds of events. But the FIA sanctions a lot of these other ones outside of the United States. But those kinds of collaborations would be brilliant to see. Because, I mean, I heard somebody recently saying that German organisers ADAC were proposing an event around the Nürburgring, which again would tie in with Nürburgring RX. And that would be a brilliant thing to do. But what we could do is alternate more and more and more. Because Liepāja, for example, was on the reserve list for WRC this season if any events got cancelled. In fact, so were IPA and Greece, which ended up getting included on the calendar. But what they could do is say, well, you've got a 3-year deal for rallies. And at least one of them will be the WRC. At least one of them will be the ERC. So you could have 2 years of Poland in the ERC, 1 year of it in the WRC. Likewise Lipaia, likewise IPA, because that's supposedly what's going to happen with IPA, 2 years on the ERC and then going back up to the World Championship. And it could mean that we have really cool alternations. So, for example, Isla Canaria would be a brilliant way to see the WRC go to once, or maybe twice. Because, well, Catalonia is iconic, but at the same time, it would be nice to see another kind of island rally, especially an island tarmac rally, because we don't have a Corsica anymore. But, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because, for me, that's the way that I'd like to see these things go. And given that WRC promoter now has World RX, European RX, and the European Rally Championship, if it could pick up other things like the APRC, there's a whole host of rallies that suddenly could find themselves on the world circus again. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.